uncomfortable.
Not
That's
really.
awkward now that.
I'm a hot Ryan.
Oh, God. No, that's not going to be your nickname on the show. All right, looks like we're live.
Oh, okay.
We are live.
All right, then.
Hello, everyone tuning in. This is Between the Streams,
right.
a brand new show here at Digital Trends where we talk about entertainment and television and movies, all these things Ryan agrees with.
That's correct.
Yes, thank you. I needed the affirmation on there. I'm Greg Nibbler, and this
Ryan
is...
Juanita.
Sorry, I stepped all over you right there. We're already off to a
killing
flying
it.
start.
You're killing it.
I know. So we've
Kill
got
my vibe here, bro.
we're going to talk about a bunch of different things that are happening this week in entertainment. If you have some comments, go ahead and post those in on Facebook or YouTube. We'll take a look at those and get to those as well. Let's start off right here. Now, Ryan, I know you're really excited about something that came out this week.
Yes.
I have some questions about it. I don't think I'm the only one, but let's start off with this first topic here.
Okay. We're going to go right into the topics.
We're going to go right into the topics.
All right, then.
I mean, X-Men. The
X-Men.
X-Men Apocalypse
trailer. It's the latest one. There's been a few before, but this one was by far the most apocalypsy.
Okay, here's my thing with
I know there's a different word for that, but I like apocalypsy.
No, that works. Yeah. If you just say it with confidence, then it counts.
They
Nobody will
don't
know. Nobody will question it. You just walk right through it.
I just want. This is one of the most uber epic trailers that we've seen, and that's saying something. I mean, there are nuclear missiles firing. There are water spouts.
There are
busting up bridges across New York. Cats and dogs living together. It's absolute chaos.
It is.
There's a huge god smashing around inside the X-Men house.
Okay, and
he is the most epic thing ever.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
I use epicity in the post too. Another fake word.
That's fine though.
I like epicity,
but when you call it out, then everybody
tried to get that Merriam-Webster
going.
authorized. But they never.
I used to try to get swass as a real word, but that didn't work.
They
out
never
either.
answer my calls.
So Mix-a-Lot's still #1 in my book. But anyway, X-Men. So
yes.
I mean, these are the new prequel series, which I have seen both of the ones that have come out so far. The first one I liked. The second one, and this is why I'm questioning this new one, wasn't that an apocalypse they were fighting against in the second one?
There's a lot of apocalypses.
I mean, but that was the whole point. And by the way, that second one was really confusing.
It was.
And
but that's anytime you use like different timelines, you're going to have all kinds of problems. They basically just wanted to have Ian McKellen and Patrick Stewart back, and they were like, how can we figure this out?
And that's fine. I
like
like
Wolverine
them,
in the 70s, that was awesome too.
Yeah, I gotta admit, I'm getting a little tired of Wolverine there, but
that's crazy talk.
But this feels like, just based on the trailer, that this is pretty much the same thing happening again. There's a big monster it's apocalypse. It's not like just, we're battling somebody, or there's some terrible plight that's going on with mankind, or it's a battle of wills, or just two superheroes fighting. It's the end of the world or nothing. Yeah, like that's it. It's got to be big.
This is a character that they invented because they didn't have. Actually, I think the guy who was creating it, I read up, got fired, and then they're like brought in this other dude, and they're like, we need a really badass villain, and he's like, what if his name was Apocalypse? and so they created this thing. He's supposed to be the first mutant, and he is just like all powerful. Like basically, he's the father of all mutants, maybe, or whatever. It all like starts with his genetic code,
like the Adam and Eve of mutants, or something.
Absolutely. And they're tying in the Egyptian pharaohs with it. Like he was thousands and thousands of years ago. That's how he became like a god.
Okay.
And that's how they, you can use the time of that to create.
Okay.
You can adjust time and be like, see, it really did happen.
Well, if he's a god, how come he hasn't been around the whole time?
You know what? Stop asking so many questions, Greg. It's just
I don't want to overanalyze it. I want to get into it. There's
a few reasons I'm excited about this. One of which is Oscar Isaac, who is awesome. He is in Star Wars, but if you haven't seen Ex Machina, which I believe you have, he is amazing in Ex Machina, and he is playing Apocalypse.
Okay.
You can't tell.
Yeah, I wouldn't know.
There's one scene in the trailer that shows his face like unapocalyptic-y, and he's got all this blue shit, and he's got this vocal thing going on, so you really can't tell that it's him, but he's a great actor, so I'm excited about that.
Okay.
And they have packed this thing with new actors, new X-Men. They've got Olivia Munn as Psylocke.
Now that I'm okay with. Now I'm into it.
It's quite the outfit she's wearing.
Language.
It's quite the outfit. She can make things. She can make swords.
Aaron Rodgers is a lucky guy.
Apocalypse gathers all these different like X-Men to be his sort of his 4 horsemen of the apocalypse, like the biblical thing.
Okay.
And
so,
so
we've
he
got
gathers
Egyptian gods.
Yes.
Now we've got the 4 horsemen.
Yeah, it's all
okay.
connected.
All right.
Basically, apocalypse is responsible for all religions and all history of any bad doing.
All right. Okay.
And so Magneto becomes one of his 4 horsemen in this book. In this
course.
movie, we're led to believe, and Storm is also one, and then Psylocke is also one too.
Okay. Well, I mean,
yeah, sorry.
Psylocke, that's Olivia Munn.
Yeah, and I wasn't even aware of that character either. I'm not super deep in
X-Men?
comic book lore. We'll probably get plenty of comments about that.
I'm sure, yeah, there's people
But I have
complaining
enjoyed
about
the
that
Bryan Singer movies. Some of them were better than others, but I don't know. I think it's going to be a good flick.
Okay. Well, I mean, the trailer is interesting. I'm willing to give it a try. I'll
Also-
watch it. But
Yes.
where do you go after 2 apocalypses? Like, now, what's the next movie? Like, what do you do at that point?
McAvoy has to go bald, and that's going to happen in this
Oh,
movie.
okay. That'll be
and
the
then
next-
there's
the
a whole other
balding.
movie like about his baldingness.
Okay.
No,
All right.
I don't know. Well, there's another reason to be excited is that Quicksilver's back. Played
Quicksilver.
by Evan Peters, and if anybody that saw the last movie, the Quicksilver scenes were by far the coolest scenes.
Yes.
They use a really cool technology to make this slow motion imagery happen, and it's incredible.
Okay.
And in this one, it looks like he's apparently trying to save everyone inside the house, which is like on fire. And so that alone could be worth the price of admission.
Okay. All right. I will give it a try. And
Jennifer Lawrence.
And Jennifer Lawrence. That's true. That's all right. It's Jennifer
How many
Lawrence
reasons
and
do I
Olivia
need
Munn. That's-
here?
All right. You
It's a
give
lot
me
of
enough
reasons.
reasons. You give me enough reasons. I will definitely check that out.
All right.
All right. Something else big in the news.
Yes.
Which I'm not sure how to feel about this.
Oh, no.
And I think there's a lot of people that are kind of conflicted on
Uh-huh.
this. And it's the news that came out from Disney that they are indeed making another Indiana Jones.
Yes, that's correct.
And more importantly,
Indy 5.
Indy with Harrison Ford.
With the Fordinator.
Harrison Ford is, I think you wrote it down in here,
And
77 years old.
When the movie premieres in 2019, which God knows what will be happening in America by then.
Yeah.
With the current political climate.
That's true.
But when it premieres, he will be 77 years old. Yeah.
And so he is going to be playing Indy. It's going to be a full on.
It's going to be Indy. And so a lot of people thought that this was going to be a passing of the torch movie.
Mm-hmm.
And then a few months back, I think both Disney and Spielberg went on record. Maybe it was just Disney saying that we don't want to replace Harrison Ford. We don't
Mm-hmm.
want a new Indiana Jones, because a lot of people were talking about Chris Pratt. And
Yeah.
in fact, in February, Spielberg was looking into Chris Pratt, and nobody knew exactly why. So what may happen in this movie is that Pratt might end up sort of being still in it. He still could be in the movie. I think he should be. I think he should be like sort of a sidekick, better than Shia LaBeouf.
I was going to say, what do you do with Shia LaBeouf?
And hopefully
at this point?
no computer-generated monkeys.
Yeah, that was pretty
swinging. Oh my God,
That was bad.
that's when the movie went south for me last time.
Was the monkeys?
That
And
was
usually that's a
just-
bonus for a movie when you have
CGI
yeah.
monkeys.
Well,
is that how you know?
I like
it's
Planet
good?
of the Apes. That's
Okay.
that's what that comes down to.
Those aren't just okay. Yeah.
Well,
Yes.
Um,
But that was so bad.
but that is the case, though. What do you do with that character? Because there's no way he can make another one after this.
No.
I mean, at what point do you have to hang it up? For Indiana
Maybe he
Jones?
becomes like the guy at home base that Chris Pratt calls when stuff gets too crazy out on his indie adventures.
Visits him at a home somewhere.
I don't know, but here's the thing: if you do bring in Chris Pratt as a sidekick or the successor to the throne for the next movie or whatever it might be, then you are basically taking away any chance to retroactively make Chris Pratt a young Indy or anything like that, which some people were thinking might happen with the rebirth. Well, obviously he would have to be a young Indy. So if you put him in this movie, that's
it.
That
This is
can't
where
happen,
it's at.
right?
This is
He's
the
got to be a
timeline.
different dude.
Yeah, I think he
Indiana
would have to
Smith?
be. He doesn't look enough like
It could
Harrison.
be Indiana Smith.
Indiana Smith. Maybe he'll be Wisconsin Pete or something. He'll be.
Oh, you want to change the state?
Yeah, I'm going to change the whole
All
thing.
right, change
yeah.
the state.
Wisconsin Pete. What are you
No,
doing
it
here?
should be interesting. I mean, I don't know. I think we wrote the post and people kind of cared about it, but I think people are.
Yeah,
And I
think the last one left a bad taste in a lot of people's mouth.
there's that. I also think that Harrison Ford sort of gave what a lot of people thought of his last goodbye in his old franchises in The Force Awakens. And we all know what happened in The Force Awakens.
No, we don't know what happened in Force
Oh, we
Awakens.
don't. Well, this goes back to last week.
Okay, this goes
soft
back to
open.
our spoiler talk.
Our
How
spoiler
long
talk.
do you have to wait before you can give a spoiler on something?
So this is why there's so many nuances on
I'm
the
not even gonna
subject.
touch a Star Wars one. I'm leaving that up to you. And I was thinking that spoilers could be given.
Well, let's just say this: in that movie, Harrison Ford is old, man, and he's like sort of like, you can tell that he's not like his old spry self. Let's put it that way.
That's
without
true.
giving anything away from the biggest movie that's ever happened.
Yeah.
That everyone should have seen by now.
Yeah, well, until you find that one person that didn't. And
Yeah,
then,
well, you know what? Again.
And somebody right here in
This
this
guy,
room,
'cause he just
perhaps
had
Rich, who's
the
producing.
cameraman.
You can send your emails to Ryan.
You know what? So I was vehemently for a year last time, but then I realized that this is more nuanced.
For a spoiler
For something
break.
like Star Wars, dude, like if you haven't seen it in the first 3 months, the biggest movie of all time.
So
then
you think it's a 3-month period, and then you can
I
just
think it depends
blast
on.
out Star Wars
I think it
spoilers.
depends on the property.
Okay.
Yeah.
So for Star Wars, you're saying 3 months
Because
it
I
came
had
out
a
in
friend.
what,
I had a friend who was a huge Star Wars fan, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he was so mad like 2 weeks ago when he got
it's really
spoilers.
only been about 3 months, right? It came out in
December,
December.
yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, if you're a Star Wars fan and you don't see it like the day of or the day after, then you're not a Star Wars fan. And don't get mad. Wow. Don't get mad.
I mean, I've seen it twice, so
Get
I'm
even.
not mad about it. But wow, you are.
I didn't say
you're more
anything.
hardcore than I thought.
I didn't say anything.
No, you didn't. No.
All right. Somebody's upset. Moving on.
right.
Speaking of
Next
Harrison
one.
Ford.
Indiana Jones, we'll see what
Speaking of
happens.
Harrison Ford.
Yes.
They're looking for a young Han Solo because Disney is crazy and they're going to make 1 billion Star Wars movies.
And they have said that they're going to make a movie every single year forever.
Yes.
Until people stop going.
I mean, I don't think they said it quite like that, but that's the idea.
But that's basically the idea.
We're gonna keep making
They'll have the
these.
episodes every 2 years,
Yes.
and then the offshoot ones or the origin stories or whatever they want.
Absolutely.
In between those.
Absolutely.
And-
So one of the first origin story is going to be Rogue One, for those who don't know,
Okay.
which is the plan of a young band of rebels that steals the plans for the
Bunch of hooligans.
young kids.
Yeah.
And they steal the plans for the Death Star, which eventually ends up coming. Oh, is this a spoiler? I'm sorry. In Star Wars 4,
I'm not talking about the
they blew up the
original
Death
one.
Star. I'm sorry, guys. If you haven't seen it, sorry about that.
Just dropped it. Wow.
And anyway, so that's Rogue One. So then the next one coming after Rogue One, and I believe it's coming out. Rogue One's 2017, so Han Solo might be 2019, but don't quote me on that. But so they're
in the
looking,
age of that movie,
yeah.
okay.
So they're looking for a young Han Solo, and he's going to have his own storyline as a smuggler and pirate and general.
And Han Solo's
ne'er-do-weller.
not in Rogue One.
No.
Okay. So
Rogue
it'll be
One is like
separate.
totally like
Just its own.
off-brand sort of Star
story.
Warsy stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
And so they
And
conceivably.
Han Solo is going to be similar. I don't think there's going to be like necessarily any Jedis or
not
any
like
of
a
that
trilogy
stuff.
of Han Solo
I mean,
prequels.
we don't know a lot about the plot, but most likely what we're going to see is Han Solo being his smuggler self,
Mm-hmm.
or maybe we'll see him go down the wrong path. Like he started out good and he was. He was a
probably
good pilot.
jerk at some-
and
I mean,
he's never been quite a jerk. He's
but
been
I
a
mean,
rogue.
I bet when he was young, though, I bet
Could
he was,
be. It's all depends on how Disney wants to redraw him since George Lucas has been kicked to the curb.
right.
And it's no insight.
And so they've got some actors in mind
For about
who's
$6 billion, he was kicked to the curb or whatever it was.
Yeah, I feel
to sell
really-
Lucasfilm.
really
Yeah, don't cry
terrible about
for him,
yeah.
Argentina.
Yeah.
So the cool thing. Well, I'm very conflicted,
Mm-hmm.
but they have picked some pretty cool actors. I don't know that anybody can replace Harrison Ford. In fact, we were just saying before we went on the air here that it's almost like trying to replace like Arnold Schwarzenegger. He's that big of a charismatic presence. He's fun. He's like funny.
Yeah. Well, and how old was Harrison Ford in the first?
He's pretty young.
Star
He's in
Wars.
his 20s. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, even
Yeah.
like how much younger
20s
are they
or
gonna
early
go,
30s, I think.
to
20s,
make
early
it
30s.
make it a younger
Before
story.
Star Wars. Yeah, that's a good point. I think.
You
Well,
know?
but he was older. Like Luke was the young guy. Like Han was sort of like,
Yeah, he was like 30 something. Probably.
he'd been doing
So they
stuff.
get like a
He'd been
19-year-old.
around the block a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who's it they're
So,
thinking about?
We've got Alden Heinrich, Jack Rayner. So Alden Heinrich was most recently seen in Hail Caesar, the Coen Brothers movie.
Okay, I haven't seen that yet, but I love.
So we'll get back
Coen
to
Brothers
him.
movies.
And we've got
Okay.
Jack Rayner, and all he's really been in that people know about is Transformers: Age of Extinction. I
that
haven't
one?
seen a Transformers since the first movie,
Me neither.
and I won't.
Yeah.
So I haven't seen this dude, but he looks, I don't know, kind of
Kind of.
Han Solo-y. He looks kind of rugged.
Okay.
Whatever. And then Taron Egerton, who's the Kingsman dude. He's the guy that plays the young Brit who's taken into the Kingsman and
All right.
all that. So my thoughts on Taron, we'll go backwards again. My thoughts on Taron are sort of like he didn't show a whole lot of range, I felt like, in Kingsman. Now, he was good.
I did not see all of Kingsman, so I can't accurately
well,
judge.
I just didn't feel like he had that much range, so I just don't know how well he can transition to something else. But that could have been the writing as well. But my pick, by far, is Alden Heinrich, because he was in Hail Caesar, and he played this hilarious character. I kind of grew up in like like on the edge of farm country. Like I wasn't there, but I was in Helena, Montana, and my mom like lived on a farm when she was younger.
That's out in the middle of nowhere.
And I've seen these dudes, and he played this. So he in Hail Caesar, it's like an old 30s Hollywood thing, and it's really about how studios like made stars and like created these ridiculous like scenes for stars to like drop into, and they would put stars on the payroll and just tell them to do whatever. So in the movie, he is a true cowboy that like comes to Hollywood to sort of be a stuntman, and then they make him into a star.
Okay.
And he's a star in all these cowboy movies, and then all of a sudden out of nowhere the studio's like, okay, we're rebranding you. Now you're gonna be in this like posh piece where you walk in with a tuxedo.
And just change it mid.
And he's trying to, and the actor just kills it. He's like trying to walk in there in this tuxedo, and he's like trying to say these lines that he would never say in real life. I can't remember exactly what it was, but he's just like, he does it about 40 times. And then Ralph Fiennes is the director, who's like super upset that this guy is in this film, and he can barely talk. I'm going off on a rant here, but anyway,
I need to see that movie.
He just kind of
sounds like
he's
me
away
your guy
on screen. He was hilarious on screen, and he had charisma.
And you think he can pull off a Han Solo?
That I don't know, but I do think that he could pull it off better than the other two.
Of these three.
Yeah.
That's got to be crazy. Just a side note of these three actors, like their lives are going, if they get this, you know, that's it. You're Han Solo.
True.
You could ride that for the rest of your life, even if you just did one movie.
Unless the movie bombs, I suppose.
I mean, it'd have to really bomb.
Yeah.
Because otherwise you can still... I mean, you can go on like the circuit of Star Wars conventions. And you're Han Solo. I mean, there's guys in Star Trek that do that. You know, I was third red shirt number on, episode 432.
I see what you're saying. So you can go to the Comic-Cons
like
all
set.
across the country.
Even if you suck
European
and
one.
the movie is terrible, you're still set. And the rest of these, you know.
This is a good
point.
point.
You get a role like that.
This is a good point.
It's a good role.
Well,
it's a good role.
It should be noted that these are after some screen tests. So these are the guys that they didn't just pick them out of the movies. They did screen tests with them, and these are probably their last three. Although it hasn't been secured, there might be a few other names floating around out there.
Okay.
And for all we know, they're looking for feedback. I mean, they could be looking for feedback
just
from
throw a
journalists,
name out and then
and see what the reaction is. You know, in the social culture we're in, you're going to get plenty of feedback.
Yeah.
There'll be plenty of tweets about I hate this dude.
Trolls will go crazy over that.
So that could be part of it as well.
Yeah.
But it should be interesting. I don't know if anybody can be Han Solo. I really...
Sounds like everybody wants to
cast
Harrison Ford. That's pretty much it. We're all looking for a new Harrison Ford.
Yeah, good luck with that.
All right. Let's see. What are we going to move on to next?
I think we should do another trailer, which is probably the most interesting, funniest trailer I've seen.
Okay, and
in weeks, if not months.
I'll admit I didn't know about this trailer.
I watch a lot of trailers.
Yeah, you do, and that's which is good because I find out about a lot of stuff from what you're telling me, and I had not seen this trailer.
Yes.
Normally, I don't watch a lot of animated movies.
So this is called Sausage Party.
Sausage Party,
and it's Seth Rogen and Jonah Hill.
That should have been the name of our podcast, by the way.
Yeah, that was like this close. That was this close.
Not. Yeah,
but then I saw the trailer.
Yeah, it's too late. It was taken this close.
But so there's a lot behind this. So if you watch the trailer, you're watching it. It seems just like a regular animated movie, and suddenly it takes a turn, and you realize that it's all these groceries, and they're like being packed up, and they're going home, and they think like getting picked from the store, hot dogs and buns and all these different like pieces of food, and they think that they're going to Nirvana. And then it turns out it's this horrifying thing where they're being ripped apart and eaten alive and swallowed whole, and like it's super violent, and they're swearing and yelling, and everybody's like, "Oh my God, you're eating children!"
I do love that concept because that's what always bothers me about a lot of commercials where they have inanimate objects talking.
Right.
You know, there's in particular some really bad. I won't even describe some of them, but I'm like, what's going to happen to that?
Right.
You know, Charmin bear, whatever. You know, I mean, that's not something I want to
Charmin
imagine.
bears are the worst.
Yeah, you know,
that is the worst thing ever. I do not
such a horrible.
ever want to
campaign.
see the
we
Charmin bears
We don't need
again.
to go down it, but
oh my god,
whoever, and it keeps getting re-upped.
No, I see what you're saying, but
that's why I love this concept of
and
this
that's
movie.
what's so great about the trailer too, is it starts out like every other trailer you've ever seen for an animated movie, and then it takes that dire turn, and then you're like, what am I watching? So there's some funny things about this. First of all, like the whole thing apparently came about because Jonah Hill and Seth Rogen were telling people that their next movie was going to be called Sausage Party, like for years. What's your next movie? Sausage Party. And it was just a running
it's their
joke.
inside joke.
It was a running joke. And then apparently, so from what I've heard, and you know, who knows what's true? It's Hollywood,
right?
But apparently, then Jonah Hill was like, you know what? Why don't we just make a movie called Sausage Party? What the hell? We're rich and powerful, and we can do whatever the hell
Got
we want.
So much money,
and we can write stuff, and people will just
and
put
they
it
are
on
funny.
screen, and they're
legitimately,
great.
yeah.
So I think this is one of those cases of writing around the headlines,
concept.
Right? You know, it's like writing around the chorus for a song, except they're writing around the name, and they wrote around the name, and they decided, okay, well, there'll be sausages, and like, how will we make it like our way? And so they got Sony on board to animate this thing, which is really interesting because it's an R-rated movie, and kids are not going to see this. I mean, that is your bread and butter.
When's the last time an R-rated animated movie came out? Like South Park, or
that could be.
I mean, I'm not sure.
I'm trying to remember. I mean, they won't even put out an R-rated superhero movie until Deadpool showed that it could be done.
Yeah.
Because they can't cut out the 13-year-olds, you know.
Yeah.
And so this is like a real gamble. But from what I've been reading up, it looks like Sony has made this thing on the cheap. They made it for about less than half of what they usually make their movies for, like somewhere around $20 million. So the animation isn't quite going to be, you know, I don't know if you've seen like Zootopia, but the animation there by Disney is mind-blowing.
Really?
Yeah.
I've seen the trailers because both times I went and saw Star Wars, it was in the trailer.
Yeah, and when you go see it in the theater, it's mind-blowing. But I don't, you know, the animation isn't going to be quite there, but it's amazing that they got this movie made. You know, it just goes to show you that depending on who you are, if you're in the right spot, if you're in the like Seth Rogen mafia, you can get almost any movie made.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I think it's really going to be funny. But the best part of the trailer for me is the Saving Private Ryan scene. So it's all this food apocalypse, and they're all more apocalypse, and they're all like getting
the theme of
eaten,
today's show.
and it shows like this like whiteout scene where there's like the ringing in the ears, like the storming of the beach at Normandy and Saving Private Ryan. But instead then he looks over and there's a dude looking, and you know, remember in Saving Private Ryan how horrifying that was?
Yeah.
When the guy is running around trying to look nonchalantly looking for his arm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's kind
what
of
we're talking
morbid.
about.
But in this, it's an Oreo cookie going around and looking for his other Oreo cookie side. Like dragging around the back of the cookie.
Just the fact that those guys are involved in it. And I saw the cast. Like, you can look up the cast. I mean, there's so many people. I can't even pull it up. Kristen Wiig, Bill Hader, the list goes on. It's all their
mafia buddies,
all of their friends,
all their comedy mafia buddies.
I am legitimately excited for that. Yeah,
it's gonna be good.
That sounds great.
I think it's gonna be hilarious.
Speaking of movies, new movies coming out, that actually brings us to our poll here.
Oh yeah,
that we have put up on Facebook.
A viewer poll because this show has segments and things because it's a real thing.
Yeah.
It's
a real thing. See, if you say it enough, that makes it reality. It's just like your words that you make up.
Exactly.
So we put this up on Facebook right now. So if you're listening via podcast, because this goes up as a podcast afterwards. Right. By the way, if you're just tuning in, this is Between the Streams, new entertainment show here at Digital Trends.
Good point.
And you can go there afterwards, though, if you're listening to the podcast, and place your vote on this poll. And the poll is this, and it has to do with something that it's a startup, I believe, that is proposing this.
Okay, so this is Sean Parker. This is no normal dude.
Sean Parker, like
Napster guy.
Napster Sean Parker?
Annoying guy that was Justin Timberlake in Facebook movie, Facebook president, billionaire.
I didn't know
the guy who's always a dick on any interview he's ever been on.
Yeah, I thought that guy just disappeared.
No, that guy
he fought like Metallica and then boom, he's out. You know, it's like Tom from MySpace.
The best thing he ever did was going on stage during the MTV movie or Music Awards, I think it was, when Napster was like becoming big and Metallica was like railing against it.
Yeah,
and he wore a Metallica T-shirt.
That's right.
It was so hilarious.
Trolling to an epic level.
Yeah. But he is kind of a douche, but he is creating.
What do you feel? How do you feel about it?
I'm just saying.
Curious.
If you ever see him on an interview, he is not a fun, nice guy to hang out
So,
with.
Sean, if you'd like to come on this show, just let us know.
Whoops. Sorry, buddy. He wasn't going to come on the show.
No, he was not.
Anyway, so he's creating this thing. It's a $150 box. And the thought process is you buy the box, and then you pay $50, and you can get a theatrical release the same day it goes into theaters.
So this is like a home box that's just used.
You can connect to your computer. It downloads the movie for 48 hours, and then it's gone. And you get it for $50. And it's any movie. The idea would be that it would be any major movie that is released in theaters. Now, this sounds like something that would just easily die, and the theaters would kill it. The theaters already boycotted Netflix when they tried to put up movies on the same day. That was what happens with Beast of No Nations. And so Netflix actually had to go to like Alamo Drafthouse and a few other smaller like boutique theaters just to get it shown, because if you want something to be in contention for award ceremonies, it has to be shown in theaters. And that was a big deal. But oh my goodness. But anyway, there's something happening
behind the
out
scenes.
there. We don't want to talk about
something
that.
horrible just happened behind the scenes.
That was
here.
shocking.
It was, yes. It's very
Can't talk
upsetting.
about it.
We're gonna try to carry on with
Let's
the show.
move on. Okay. Anyway, so the idea was, that you get this box and you get the theatrical movie, and you might think that this would die quickly, but there are a bunch of big names not only agreeing with this idea but investing in this idea. Those include Peter Jackson, Martin Scorsese, Steven Spielberg, Ron Howard, J.J. Abrams, just to name a few.
Wow.
Those are some of the biggest names in Hollywood.
Yeah, just those guys
By far.
alone should be able to push that through. You
Now,
would think.
conversely, Christopher Nolan and James Cameron have both come out against it. They do not want this to happen.
James Cameron.
They're all about
with it.
movies in the theater, and I love watching movies in the theater too.
I
But
do as well.
I do think that theaters need to figure out a way to let go of their theatrical release window, because if they do not do that, it's going to happen anyway. So you might as well play along. You can't fight the future.
Well, no, I think
every company that's ever tried to fight the future, what happens?
Yeah, they're going to lose. I would think probably this would be a good way to maybe fight piracy.
Absolutely.
Because it's giving people an option. Because if you do get a bunch of people together,
Yeah. No, I
you
mean,
can make that work.
it's been proven time and time again. If you allow something legally to be purchased at a reasonable price, people will buy it instead of steal it. I mean, there's always going to be people stealing it. But when Netflix came out, they saw piracy for video absolutely move down, like year over year,
'Cause they had
as
something to
Netflix
watch.
rose.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just, if you offer it for a reasonable price, people will buy it.
Like personally, I don't think I would do it because I don't watch enough.
I'll
new
go to the
movies.
movies.
And when there is one out that I want to see really bad, I'll go to it just because I want the theater experience.
I want the theater
like Star
experience
Wars
as well. But
or,
who this is
the
going
new
to
Marvel
be for,
movies.
this is going to be for a family of 3 or a family of 4, 3 kids, a family of 5, family of 6, who can't afford to bring everybody to the movie. Even if it's like just, the couple and the kids are in bed, $25 equally, it can easily be spent going out for a night. You've got to get a babysitter. You've got to drive sometimes. You've got to buy the beer or the soda or the popcorn. And then there's the ticket itself. You're easily looking at $50 for 2 people for a lot of excursions. So I think that's why they did the numbers here. And they're like,
So do you think this has
$50?
legs? Do you think it's going to work?
I think it could have legs, but there are 3 major theater chains, and only one has shown any sort of interest. But the reason it could have legs is because of the names I mentioned earlier.
Right. If they want to make that happen. Huh. All right.
Some of these
it's
people
definitely
have
a
real
novel
equity
concept.
in studios, and
I think
it's a big deal.
I think you're right in that adapting to the new technology is really important for theaters. I don't know if this will be the final version of that, but they've got to come up with something.
They have to figure out a way
more and more
to
people are just
get with the
watching stuff at
times.
home, or they're like Netflix having the new stuff come out. You know, I'm going to sit at home and watch that.
Well, Netflix is becoming a full-fledged movie studio.
Yeah, movie
This is
studio,
happening.
television series, and you don't have to leave your home, and you can watch all of it. Which maybe we should go straight to the highlight of the week.
Oh, the highlight of the week.
The highlight of the
Let's do
week.
it.
We're working on the segment titles. If you have some ideas, you can send those in. But this is for me. There's 2 things. here with this. It's a big day for me today.
This is a big day.
It's
for
a
you.
big day
This is a big day.
for 2 reasons. I'll get to the second reason here. In a
They're
minute,
both
but
good reasons.
They're
And
both
you're
good
so
reasons.
ashamed of the second reason. It's
I'm
not that
gonna
bad.
explain it. I'm gonna
not
explain.
that bad.
I know, but I feel
right.
weird. I'm gonna admit something on this show.
Okay,
This is
very exciting.
I'm gonna admit something on here to everybody that's watching, and we'll clear that up
All right,
after
first,
though.
First.
we talk about Daredevil.
Daredevil
is out today.
Season 2.
Season 2.
Big time.
I love the first season, and
I did too.
I'll say this: I didn't really read the Daredevil comics. I read some comics when I was a kid, but Daredevil wasn't one of them. Never really a big fan of the character.
Ben Affleck did his best to ruin it.
Yeah, ruined it for me.
He
I
really
saw
tried.
that movie, and I'm like, no,
Yeah.
not interested.
Yeah.
And even when they brought up that they were making the series, I trust Marvel with what they've done. I'm
Right.
like, yeah, probably not going to watch that.
Well, you trust Netflix too.
I do, yeah, but I still didn't watch it for probably 6 months after it came out.
No kidding.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
Just wasn't into it.
All right.
Wasn't into the idea, but that was my fault. I missed out on something because of that.
Yeah.
And I did watch it, loved it. Watched Daredevil, Jessica Jones, also fantastic.
My only problem with Daredevil is that his accent is not great.
Yeah.
Charlie Parker.
Yeah. Yeah. I can
Charlie
kinda see
Cox's
that.
accent is not.
He's not hiding it very well, yeah.
I know you're Irish.
All right, that's true.
I've seen you in Boardwalk Empire, which didn't help.
yeah.
But man,
I know, yeah.
he does not sound like a New York kid.
Okay, I can give
But
you that.
his work, his acting, aside from that, and
he can
his
kick some ass.
action and just the way they built the character, I was like so pissed off that he didn't have the suit for so long.
Yeah.
But when he finally got the suit, I was like, damn.
Well,
This is awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
It's a badass suit, and you're just like so stoked that he's not running around in tights anymore.
Yeah, I know.
So
In
they
his
did a really
pajamas.
good job of like what we talked about last week, which is just dragging it along, but doing it in a way
Keeping
that
you
you are
hooked,
just
keeping you hooked.
stuck. So season 2.
Well, and real quick, the thing about Daredevil season 1 and
Yes.
Jessica Jones, I think that the villains outshone the actual characters in
Yeah,
both of those. Because Vincent
absolutely.
D'Onofrio and David Tennant,
Fisk
amazing.
was
Watch
amazing.
those. If you have not watched those, I highly suggest
You
watching
gotta
them.
see it.
Jessica Jones, if you watch 2 episodes and you're like, no, I'm not into it, watch it for 3 or 4.
Yeah.
You got to go that far until David Tennant, and then.
And I've heard the sex
Then
scene
you
is
get it.
pretty intense.
That's right off the bat. That's like episode 1. You realize, okay,
Oh,
this is
this is how we're gonna
not
do
a
it.
children's movie.
All right,
this
then.
is not rated PG. It's quite graphic.
All right. So you've seen one episode?
I watched one
It
episode
came out
of the
at
new season.
12
Daredevil.
a.m. last night,
Yes.
and I wanted to watch it, but I just couldn't get to it.
I watched one this morning before this show just for that purpose.
Yes.
And I wanted to see what it was like because I'm very excited about the Punisher character. That's a character I was into as a kid.
I
'Cause
was
the
too.
Punisher is just ruthless.
when I
and-
was 13, there was nothing cooler than the Punisher.
Yeah, and this is the kind of forum that you could do it. I mean, the Punisher's a rated R character no matter how you look at it.
Absolutely.
You could never make a children's version of that.
No.
And if you don't know what the Punisher does, he kills people.
Got a
He's-
bulletproof suit, and
Yeah.
he just gets a bunch of guns and just
Yeah, he's
makes blood happen.
technically a good guy, I guess, in the way like Dexter's a good guy.
Yeah,
you know,
he's a vigilante. That's
Yeah.
no other way to put it, but not
Yeah.
like Batman style
He-
vigilante. Like if Batman just had like a rocket grenade and a bunch of machine guns.
Yeah. Yeah, he doesn't want to reform people or put
Right.
them in jail. He just wants to
None of
eliminate
that.
all criminals.
They should all be killed.
And this new series, I'm not going to give away any spoilers or anything like that. This is something I will not do because this just came out. I will say this though: it starts off the first episode. You are right back in it,
Right.
and they
Okay.
do a really good job of kind of
just jumping you back into the
jumping you
series.
right back into it. You don't really need much preface of what's going on, and I don't know exactly where it's going, but
Right.
you're right into it, and they're not taking their time. Because with the season
Right.
1, it took a long time to develop, who the hell Daredevil is, and
Well, and we do
the
know
whole backstory.
from the trailer that he's going to go
You know-
against the Yakuza. We know that.
Yeah, the Hand, I think, and
Right.
and yeah,
The White
Yakuza,
Hand, or- yeah.
the Hand, I think is the name of the overall. And I mean,
Okay.
somebody's going to write in and correct that.
Yes.
But yeah,
Which we appreciate. Because that means
yes,
you're listening.
Correct us. But yes, it's fantastic. So Daredevil, I'm going to be watching that this weekend. But the other thing that I'm really excited for,
Yes.
and I don't know, it feels weird sometimes when I admit this to people because I get a weird look.
You shouldn't, because Tim Burton
It is Tim Burton. Tim Burton was the first
made
one.
one of the movies.
Tim Burton was the first one.
So what is it, Greg? Tell
I'm
everybody.
talking about Pee Wee Herman's new movie.
Pee Wee Herman.
Pee Wee Herman's new movie is out.
Produced by Judd Apatow.
Produced by Judd Apatow.
Yeah.
Pee Wee's Big Holiday. Growing up, I was a huge Pee Wee Herman fan. I have gone as Pee Wee Herman for Halloween. I'm just going to lay it
Really?
all out. I'm going to lay it all out.
Oh my God! So this is way deeper than
It's
I
way
thought.
deeper, and that's why there's a little bit of shame tinged
Yeah.
with it.
Okay.
I've gone as Pee Wee Herman probably 3 or 4 times for Halloween. It's my cover picture on my Facebook page right now.
Do you do the voice the whole night?
Yeah. Oh yeah. You
Really?
Gotta get,
He's
gotta
got
get
two
into it.
voices. Did you do
no,
both?
you are, but what am I?
Yeah. And
Yeah.
he's like, oh yeah. And the other one's like more Brooklyn or something.
I don't think it's.
Or it's, I don't know. It gets like gravelly.
There's like the up one.
And then there's like the other one's
I don't
like.
think there's a Brooklyn version.
I
of,
don't know. Whatever it
heavy
is.
hitting Pee Wee.
I'm on the West Coast.
But no, he.
Yeah.
Huge fan. Anyway, I'll leave it
Okay.
at that. Huge fan.
All right.
Of
This
the
could
Pee-wee
be a
franchise.
fantastic movie.
Or it could be awful.
But
and
Judd
this is what I'm
Apatow did it,
terrified
so
of.
it could be awful. It could be awesome.
Yeah, Judd Apatow. Judd Apatow did it, and I'm really excited to watch it. I'm going to watch it this evening,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm also really nervous that this could ruin something that I loved when I was a child, because that's the problem when you bring
Fair
these
enough.
back.
Yeah. And he's like, what, 60 right now?
Terrible. Yeah, I mean, he looks good in the trailers. I'll give him that. He still looks pretty good.
Yeah. I've seen
as
the
Pee-wee.
trailer. I think it looks really funny.
I think it looks
I
funny.
think it looks good.
But what if it's not?
It'll be okay, Greg.
What if it's not?
You're
And
gonna
then
be
it just has
fine.
to shape everything, and I feel terrible about it, and this could. I have a lot riding on this.
It's
right?
going to be okay,
a
buddy.
lot of my psyche's riding on this.
Okay.
Clearly,
You're going to be fine.
there's
Oh my gosh. Is that up live? Please tell me that's live. That's beautiful.
that is it. That's
oh my
from.
God. Now, we have the best producer in the world, obviously.
we do, yes,
That
Rich
has just been proven.
on the case right there. That
All
is
right.
one of the times.
So this guy's worried about it, but
I'm nervous about
that's
it.
our highlight of the week. Okay, we have one
Yes.
more segment to get through.
Yeah, I didn't realize what time it was.
We're running late here.
Running late. Okay.
Between the Cracks.
Yes, and this is one we're
This is
doing
when
every week.
We dig something up that you may or may not know about that could be awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And this one could be awful, but in an awesome way. So
It's also something nostalgia.
apparently back in December, I missed a trailer that basically is just the Hoff and Kit driving through the desert.
It's Knight Rider.
It's Knight Rider Heroes. Now, we don't know what it is.
And
we
this
don't know
is
if it's a
new.
show, if it's a movie, is it a mini-series? We don't know. But all it is this like 35, 40-second teaser trailer. And it starts out with the Hoff's belt buckle. Like, it just goes
Out in
right
the
to the
desert.
belt buckle.
and this is a real trailer. Maybe we can put
Yeah.
up a link to this on the
We'll
post.
put a link up to it. And no one knows what this is going to be. There's a website. If you go to it, it just like says Knight Rider Heroes.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. It's like some kid made it.
It's
And we
but
don't-
it's actually David Hasselhoff,
But
and
go
they
and
have
check out the
Kit
trailer.
is in the trailer.
When I was a little kid, there was nothing cooler than Knight Rider.
I
okay?
agree with that. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so this means a
Michael.
great deal to me. And then they tried to remake it in the 90s, and it was awful.
Yeah,
So-
I didn't even want to watch that because I just knew
I
it was going
want
to
this
ruin
to
it.
be terrible, but still fun.
If it's
Because it's going to be terrible, but still fun.
Yeah, but I mean, probably if you go back and watch the original series, it's probably
It's
terrible.
so bad. It's almost unwatchable.
Yeah, but it's
They need
still-
the right producer to make this something that's watchable
Mm-hmm.
because that would be fun.
Well, I will definitely give it a shot if it
I
is
will give
David
it a shot,
Hasselhoff.
too. So
Kit.
check out the trailer.
Watch the trailer. It's going to be on the post at digitaltrends.com for
right.
Between the Streams.
Yes.
All right, we are out of time.
We are totally out
We
of
are
time.
definitely out of time.
Thank you for watching, you guys.
Thank you very much.
And thank you for listening if you're on the podcast.
Yep. Either way, send us an email, podcast@digitaltrends.com. And we're doing this show every Friday at 2 o'clock. That
Every
is gonna
week.
Be the time.
You
every
can see
week.
us.
Friday at 2 o'clock. And I think this is a lot of fun. So
Yeah.
send us your questions. Go there to Facebook and answer the poll question too. We'll revisit that next week and kind of
Right.
see kind of gauge where people are if you want to pay $50 to watch a theatrical release in your home. And we'll cover that. Thanks so much. Have a great weekend. Have fun watching Daredevil and Pee-wee. And we'll be back next week with more Between the Streams.